Hi everyone, let's talk about a very specific flavor of late 90s chaos. A kind you'll feel in your thumbs, hearing the faint groan of your N64 controller's analog stick. I'm talking about Destruction Derby 64. If you were a PlayStation kid, you probably remember the original Destruction Derby as this kind of moody, gritty thing. A tech demo that helped sell the PS1. It felt cool, it felt serious. But then THQ picked up the license and just handed it off to Looking Glass Studios. You know, the same people who made System Shock and Thief. Not exactly who you'd expect for a demolition racer, right? But instead of sticking to the old playbook, they just drenched the whole thing in neon paint and total mayhem. So here we are now in 2026. We've got games like Wreckfest with beautiful, realistic, soft body crashes. Sparks fly, and every detail pops on your 4K screen. But there's something wild, something really reckless about Destruction Derby 64 that just doesn't exist anymore. It's like nobody knows how to bottle up that kind of chaos today. So I want to talk about why this weird, blocky, absolute metal mashing relic still has a place in your retro collection. Let's dive into the gameplay itself, because Looking Glass didn't just move the PlayStation game onto the N64 and call it a day. They looked at that funky N64 hardware and basically asked, how do we crank this up into a proper party game? First off, the scoring. The old system was all about catching rivals at the right angle and spinning them out. In N64 version, that's not the case. It's dead simple. Hit hard, hit fast, and cause more carnage than everyone else on the track. And honestly, the best and probably most unhinged change was what they did with the races. Forget traditional laps. The grid is split in two, and each half starts from opposite ends of the track. That means you've got 6 cars racing forwards, and the other 6, yeah, they're coming straight at you in reverse. Total insanity. Let that sink in for a second. Every race is now a horror movie version of Chicken. You've got a countdown timer that only stays alive if you hit checkpoints. Never mind the ambulance barreling straight towards you. You're dodging traffic and smashing bumpers with someone who's barely in control. It's stressful, unfair as hell, but it's brilliant. Visually, for something that dropped in 1999, DD64 actually looked pretty sharp next to its PlayStation cousins. The frame rate was way more solid than you'd expect, and the cars could take real gnarly damage. Trunks flying off, hoods folding, paint textures wrinkling from crashes. And the physics? Just goofy arcade nonsense. Your ride can look like it got stepped on by Godzilla. The engine can be nearly sideways and you're still zipping around if there's any health left. Ambulance or hatchback, doesn't matter. They all bounce around like rubber balls. And I have to mention the announcer. He's basically your hype man, yelling all sorts of weird stuff, just losing his mind the moment you slam into someone head on. Mix that with screaming metal, engines, and the pounding 90s soundtrack, and you've got a game that knows exactly what it's here for. Noise, dumb fun, and giving your brain a break. But if Destruction Derby 64 is legendary for anything, it's gotta be multiplayer. All you need is 3 friends, a tangle of controllers, and nothing important to do on a Friday night. This was the kind of stuff that made the N64 magic. There was Deathmatch, but then you had Capture the Flag, and most importantly, Bomb Tag. Bomb Tag is just tag, except someone starts off with a ticking bomb strapped to their car, and the only way to pass it on is to hammer somebody else before you explode. It's wild, and everyone knew you did not pick the ambulance. The ambulance was an absolute beast. Anyone who took it just reversed into you like a rolling wall. If your group didn't ban it, your matches always turned into a 3-on-1 beatdown trying to stop whoever picked it. Now look, Destruction Derby 64 is not a deep or complicated game. The single-player mode kinda breezes by. The graphics are pretty average compared to today. It isn't trying to be some realistic sim. That's fine, because who cares? Because in 2026, a legit clean cartridge can go for over $100 on eBay. People still love this game, and I get it. It's a snapshot from an era where making a ridiculous collision-filled racing game was something you could just do, no apologies. It's couch multiplayer perfection, which is pure N64 energy in a cartridge. So what about you? Did you rent this from Blockbuster more than you can count, or were you all about Mario Kart? Drop your stories in the comments.